Imagine you're in Jacob's shoes. You were having a nice day at school, and then all of a sudden your school burns down, your friends died, and you're taken to another dimension. With two people. One, the guy that you don't like, and two, a girl who certainly does not like you. And not only that, you are told that you are the son of a god, and that you're going to save the world. Now, how would you take that? Jacob, Jacob takes it pretty well. He's pretty excited. He's in like a fantasy world where he's the hero. This is his dream. He's excited. He's like, all right, tell me what's next. What do I need to do? Uh, he's almost a bit too excited. You might like wonder, is this the same guy whose friends just died? Well, you're really ready to take this on, but he's ready. Now imagine all that's true, but you're Marcus or Addison, and you were taken from your school with two people that you don't like, and you're not even supposed to be here. You're not the son of God. You're not the hero. You were here by mistake. They weren't too happy about it. Now, Addison doesn't typically show her emotions that well, but you can tell that she was pissed. She's just sitting in the corner listening to all this fuming. And Marcus, you can tell his emotions. He immediately is pissed. He's yelling. He's like, "What do you mean? We're in like another world? This Jacob, this guy is the son of a god. You are a talking rhino. How can you? What are you talking about? How I want to go home. Get me out of here." And this is when the lizard man walks up. Roz is his name. He he's mad too. He's like, "What? How dare you accuse not only our king Xerxes, but also the son of Storm? You claim that he is not the demigod that we say he is? The utmost disrespect." Now, Marcus and Roz are immediately fighting. Marcus is like, you're a lizard. How? What? You are a lizard." And shouting and not off to a good start until Jacob eventually has to calm them both down. He's like, hey, Marcus, please, let's just hear what they have to say. And Marcus isn't happy about this, but that's the best that they've got. So Xerxes, the wise old rhino man, begins to tell his tale on what's going on. He says, first of all, we believe that you come from another world. And Xander, the White Prince, is the person who brought you here. We don't know how he did it. And we don't know how, if it is even possible, to get you back. So for now, we are working under the assumption that you are stuck here. Marcus isn't pleased, but immediately starts to like pipe up. But Jacob's like, "Calm down. We can figure this out. Maybe there is a way to get back, and we just don't know. But for now, let's listen to what he has to say." Of course, Marcus is like, "Of course you want to stay here, son of Storm, almighty." But Xerxes continues talking. He says that long ago, things were happy. He was the king of the Xerxes. His name is Xerxes. His people are the Xerxes. Both spelled with an X. I'm sorry. He was king, and times were good. He was just. They had feasts all the time. There were gladiator fights. It was never like violence. There was no crime. It was the perfect mountain happy life. They were living. But everything changed when Xander appeared. Also spelled with an X, my bad. Now, Xander is a human. Or at least, that's what Xerxes thinks. He's like, he looks like you guys, but he certainly doesn't look like any of the 12 races that we have here. We'll get to that. But he appeared one day, and we took him in. We had no idea who this stranger was. He wasn't one of the gods. Now, the gods, there are 4 gods of this world, and they would come in and out over time. Storm would feast with us, flare the fire. Doe would like run around and put on shows, and all the gods would like come by. But ever since Xander appeared, we haven't seen any of them, and things have just been going downhill. Now, Xerxes like takes a pause. Like, let me explain the universe, where you are first. He explains that of the 12 different races and the 12 different worlds, how they are connected with gates and how you can go from one world to another. He also explains that the gods created these worlds, and they also had like lots of little passion projects. There's other like worlds connected with gates, but none of the 12. There are the 12 main worlds, and then lots of little small crazy stuff, like the place with the butterflies and the crystals that you were at before. But that's the world that we live in. The gods made them. The gods go around feasting with us, and the gods have disappeared. But Xerxes welcomed Xander into his home and was very interested in his tale. And Xander told Xerxes of this other world that he was in, where he came from, and how confused he was to be here and what was going on. And they treated Xander to feasts and let them watch the games, and it seemed like Xerxes and Xander were going to become good friends. But one day, Xander, just out of nowhere, betrayed the king. He decided that he would make a better ruler, and his people, the Rhino of Xerxes, agreed, and they almost immediately started like following Xander, and they kicked out Xerxes. Xerxes was going to be killed if not for his wife, who like smuggled him out. And we don't know what happened to Xerxes' wife, but that's the last time they've seen each other, the queen. No one's seen her since, so we're probably not good. But there were a few people who still sided with Xerxes, and that is how we found out about you, Jacob. See, Xander, after taking over the Xerxes, taking over the Xerxes, decided that the Xerxes were like the perfect race, and that they should share their glory with the 12 other kingdoms. He heard about these other kingdoms, and he wanted to unite them all under his rule. So the White Prince Xander began his assault. He very quickly conquered the Dawn, the cat people, where the two people who saved Jacob earlier, and the Klee, the alien-looking telepathic guys that were right next to him on the clock. So 12, and he took these two. And he just kept going. The Klee weren't very good warriors, but they made fantastic servants. And the Taun made great they were natural farmers, so they supplied the food to this empire. And Xander just kept marching and kept taking over. And he hasn't conquered the world yet, but he has a decent swath of the north side and is continuing to attack. And the group of people you see here are all people who have been displaced by Xander's assaults and are working together to overthrow him. Now, sadly, there are not as many people here as we would like. We got like maybe 10. Xander has a way with words. He has a way of convincing people that he is doing the right thing, and also he has a way of enslaving people who don't agree with him. So it's not a happy situation. Xander needs to be stopped, and Jacob is going to be the one to stop him. See, Xander has access to a prophecy that states what's going to happen. Now, none of the resistance have access to this prophecy, We've only heard rumors of it through Xerxes' few friends left in the capital. But we know one is supposedly Jacob, who is going to overthrow Xander. And we know that Xander went to find Jacob to put a stop to it before it can happen. You know how it goes. You see the prophecy that foretells your doom, and you're immediately going to try to overwrite it, but it never works. So Xander somehow goes back to Earth, gets Jacob, and is going to try to, I don't know, like turn him to his side, but the spies get him out just in time. It is likely that is the last time the spies will be doing anything for Xerxes. This was their big final shebang. So if there anybody else who is with Xerxes under Xander, but that's the situation. So in summary, everything was peaceful. Xerxes was king. Xander appears. Xerxes treats Xander as like a brother or a son to feasts and games. Xander betrays Xerxes. Xerxes is sent to exile, saved by his wife. Xander leads the Xerxes people to conquer the Klee and the Ton and the Aleta and the Gnomes and lots of people. Not the Aleta, the Elohim. But I'll get to that. What's important is that Xerxes has taken over, and Xander has taken over and needs to be stopped. And Jacob's be the one to do it. So, Jacob decides that, yeah, what do I gotta do? I'm here to help. But under one condition. Marcus and Addison stay with me. There's gonna be no fighting, Roz. Especially you, Lizard Man. I see you trying to get rid of Marcus. We're all gonna need to work together. We're going to look for a way to get Marcus and Addison home, and I'm going to save you guys. Because I'm the son of Storm. I was made for this. Jacob's pretty confident. He's ready. So Xerxes says that what we need to do is find the Sword of Storms. Now, the four gods, they all had their power from a certain artifact, and the Sword of Storms can only be wielded by Storm or the son of Storm. At least that's what the prophecy says. And the sword is locked all the way across the world with the Seraphs. So right now we are here. I think we're about 3 on the clock. And Seraphs are all the way as far as possible. There are 2 ways we can get there. We can go back through Xander's land, or we can go the other way. And that's the way that we are going to go, because there's no way we're getting through Xander's land again. Now, the Seraphs, ever since Xander appeared, their gates have been sealed. Nobody has been there. But we believe that Jacob can open the door with his storm powers, and he can open the gates, get to the land of the Seraphs, and get the sword. So that's what they set out to do. And the journey begins.